Hello and welcome to the Infinite Love Podcast, a place where we share stories on how love can transform negative emotions and pain into strength. We talk about all things related to love, positivity, and kindness. And I am your host, Corinne Camara. Hello and welcome to episode 32, From Losing Money to Magic Sales. Victoria Buckmann is the founder of S.A.L.E.S, Magic and Women's Power and Prosperity Alliance. Victoria uses practical and profound techniques to shift your energy and transition you forward into your greatest life and most magnificent self. She's a certified higher guidance life coach, sales genius, and financial freedom 101 coach. She's an intuitive mentor, hypnotherapist, and women's success coach. Along with her husband, she empowers people worldwide with their combined true stories of overcoming a financial advisor taking her life savings of $500,000 and Gary breaking his neck and being paralyzed and using the power of the mind to heal himself. Truly a power couple that can show you how to overcome any obstacle. In today's episode, Victoria shares with us her genius and how we all have our own genius power. She drops some beautiful gems of love and inner strength. Let's get into today's episode. Hi, welcome to the Infinite Love Podcast. Today we have an amazing guest, Victoria. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. The theme of your podcast is the most important thing in the world right now. I mean, not only right now, it always has been. So thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. And thank you for being here. So I always like to start out with the show talking about what your love lesson is. And a love lesson, for those that are listening, is a situation in your life that made you rethink, reframe, transform who you are to take yourself to the next level. And I'd love to hear what your love lesson is.
Okay. So my love lesson was when I was 7, I liked setting up a table and a cash register, and I'd get cans of soup out of the closet, and I'd try to get friends to come in and buy something from me. There had to be this sales kind of energy running through my blood. So, and when I didn't get very many people to come in and play store with me, I realized that I'm kind of a blingy kind of girl, right? I love to dress in velvets and satins. And so I started making Barbie doll clothes that were made out of velvets and all these, putting little bling on it and everything. And my girlfriends said, "Oh my God, I want some Barbie doll clothes like that." So next thing I knew, I started taking orders and I was making Barbie doll clothes and selling them. So sales kind of is something that comes supernatural to me. I have a love for people, and I love people to get what it is that makes them excited and happy and full of joy. So I've been in sales most of my life. I worked for the phone company, and in a job where if you hit your sales quota, you would have made $50,000 a year. I was making $250,000. So I was 1,000% and over 1,000% of my quota year after year for 13 years. And I was so excited. I was helping all these people. I was doing everything right. I was putting money away and investing it. And my financial advisor stole it all, $500,000.
Oh, God.
So that was kind of like having the magic carpet ripped out from under my feet. And I toppled for a whole entire year. I think I was actually in shock for a whole year. And some things happened that I can't even really explain. I found myself in hypnotherapy school. I don't remember how I got there. And next thing I knew, I was on a mission to help women in business never put their self-worth ahead of or put their net worth ahead of their self-worth. So when I had all this money, that's who I was. And when it disappeared, so did my thought of who I was and my love for myself. It all disappeared. I didn't know who I was. I don't have this money anymore. Who am I now? And so I decided to help women with their self-worth and recognize that they are magnificent. And it doesn't matter how much you're making or how much money you have in the bank. We are all these magnificent beings that have genius, and we have something to share with other people. And when we do that, not only do we thrive, but everyone else thrives. And that's what I call love energy. When you're connected to yourself and your heart, and you're sending out your best self, it's no different than sending out love.
I love that. That's intense. I can't, were you able to catch the person? Were they able to go to jail, the person that stole the money from you?
He did go to jail. I was not the only one. But that doesn't really help.
It doesn't, but it's good to know that justice was served at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you were going through all this, so what were the things that you did to change the way you feel about yourself? Like what were some tips or shifts in your mentality? Did you do any practices? Like what were the things that you did to get you to from point A to point Z?
I really had to look at what was my role in this. I mean, things happen in the world, and sometimes people do things that aren't the greatest, but we also get to take responsibility for what was my part. And I think I was making money more important than people, or even what I was good at and what I did for people. So I really started focusing on how can I go out and help women feel really good about themselves. And in doing that, that made me feel good about myself. And it started to lift me back up. And I started to look at, okay, what's my genius? My genius is sales. It's something I love to do. It comes natural. And most women don't like sales.
No.
So I started focusing on what are my strengths? How do they help other people? So I really went into instead of about me and collecting money, I went into how do I could be of service to the world with the things that come natural to me? And that actually lifts you up
Hmm.
along with lifting other people up. So I did a lot of that kind of soul searching
Hmm.
and journaling and talking to myself, and talking to my guides, and going, okay, what is the lesson in this? I wanted to find what the lesson was.
I love that you turned a situation that could go into I'm a victim to finding victory, to
Right.
really switching the mindset around it and finding the lesson and like how can you shift and move out of this, because I think it's an important point because so many things happen in our lives all the
Right.
time, and it's our choice if we want to either be a victim or if we want to be victorious. And so it's an amazing thing that you've done, and now you're helping people with sales, women with sales in particular, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so for someone like me that doesn't necessarily like sales because I just always feel so pushy, what's a more feminine way of sharing, telling people about something that you're doing without sounding like a used car salesman?
So I'm glad you're asking that. Remember, I said I'm very intuitive and I get downloads. So one night I was at a networking meeting in Florida, all the way across the country.
Yeah.
And I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking for a piece of paper because I'm getting this download, and I am searching in the dark, and I find a pen and I find a piece of paper, and I write down S period A period L period E period S period. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, that spells sales. And next thing I know, I heard S stands for service. Come from service. Be in a service mindset. That was what got me out of this whole pickle about, losing money, right? A was about asking the right questions, asking questions of someone. And then L was about listening. And E was about excavating, evaluating and excavating. How can I help this person? And then elevating, lifting them up. And then S, what do you think S stands for?
Ooh, I don't know. You said service already, so self maybe? I don't know.
A lot of times people go, the last S is about selling something. No, it's about sharing. It's
Sharing.
about sharing ideas. So if you go SALES, service, asking questions, listen, evaluating, excavating, and elevating and sharing, there is no selling in sales.
Mm.
And what I like to, when I tell women that when you change that old belief that most of us have been programmed with about the used car salesman and being pushy, or I don't want to bother people. When you come from a place of service and you find out what do they need, where are they struggling, where do they want to go? A lot of times I'll put in my hand when I talk to clients, here's their vision, here's where they want to go, and here's where they are now. Well, there's usually a gap in between, and in between are those beliefs and those different challenges and obstacles. And if I can help someone get to where they want to be, whether I sell them something or not. So maybe I have something that will help them, a program or, some coaching, or I know someone else and I refer them to someone else. It really doesn't matter. As long as I helped that person get closer to where they want to be, I feel good about myself. And when you do that, when women do that, women are the best salespeople on the planet. When you find a fabulous hairdresser or restaurant, you tell everyone about it, right?
Yeah.
You want to share. So we are already really amazing at sales and selling. We just have that stigmatism and that old belief around what it is. And that's that masculine way of, oh, I gotta, sell this thing to this person. No, that's not what it's about. And so I call this the love-based sales system because it's based on love. I want to find out who you are, what you're all about, what you need, what's your greatest vision, and what can I do to help you get there, even if it's one teeny tiny baby step. If I can't sell you anything, or some of my products aren't a fit and I don't know anyone, all I have to do is give you a compliment and tell you how amazing you are and how I love your vision with sincerity, and you've actually still given them one baby step towards whatever it is that they need.
Mm-hmm. I love that because it really is about sharing and serve and being of service, and it made me think about all the times that we do share things like your favorite nail salon, and it's totally out of love and appreciation for the services that you receive, and you want to share that with others. But there's a
Right.
part of it that makes me feel like there's that inner work that needs to be done, because if you're don't have confidence, or if you're not feeling self-worthy or deserving, then I feel like that's where you would have a problem sharing
Yes.
your
I
services.
think I think the first step is getting rid of that old belief around the word sales, because it really has a charge to it and it's
Mm-hmm.
very negative and masculine and heavy. So that's the first step. And then as you learn to love yourself, look at your own genius, see what you're good at. And the funny thing about our genius, I mean, I've been a genius at sales forever. And everyone said, oh, you should teach sales. You should teach sales. And I'm like, sales? Why would I teach that? Everyone knows how to do that. So the thing that you're really good at, you don't recognize you're good at it because it comes so natural. You think everyone can do it. And it's not true. But when you look at those things, it helps to increase your own self-worth, your confidence, your, knowing what you're competent at, right? It makes, and even when I say that, I stand up a little taller, I hold my head a little higher. it's, you can even do that. Just change your physiology, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And I love that you said that everyone has their own genius, because I think people even hear the word and they always say, "Oh no, I'm not like that. I'm not that smart. I'm not whatever. I'm not good enough, etc., etc." But
right.
I truly believe also that everyone has a gift.
Yes.
Some people are able to tap into it and other people not so much, but I feel like every single person has a gift and something to offer to the world.
Yeah, one of the things that we tell our grandsons is it's not how smart you are. And, there's a book that goes with this. It's how are you smart? I am smart in sales. I can go, we bought our house, and before it was even built, I already picked out the paint, the furniture, arranged it in my mind. And my husband's looking at me going, how the heck, how do you know? And then the day that the house was finished and we painted the walls and all the furniture came, and I said, oh, that goes there, that goes there. He goes, how did you do that? So I have this color and spatial thing going on. That's one of the ways that I'm smart, right? So a lot of people, my brother is super smart with music. He can sit down, he can listen to a song one time and sit down and play it on the piano. So it's not how smart are you intelligent wise. And that, unfortunately, sometimes that's how our schools rate people.
Right.
It's how are you smart? Because we all have some kind of genius in us, and then we just get to find that genius. And then that's when you share that with the world, and everybody has something different. That's when the world is more whole. It needs every single one of us and our genius.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And talking about yourself, even if you're not necessarily in a sales position where you're having to sell something or share your gifts, I just think it's overall good for your self-confidence, be able to like stand up and say, this is what I'm doing, even if you have a corporate job and you're not a business owner. I think it's a good way of being, to be able to share who you are with the world.
absolutely. And the more that you can share who you are, this energy, you get to acknowledge who you are, and that automatically lifts your confidence and your knowing and your love of your own being. And
Mhm.
it's funny because so many people say, well, I'm not in sales. Everyone on the planet is in sales. If you have children and you want them to clean their room or brush their teeth, you are in sales. If you are someone that takes yourself to the gym or wants to eat healthy, you are in sales, because you've got to have a lovely sales conversation with yourself to get your little, fanny to the gym or fix healthy meals. Or it's not necessarily sales. It's about knowing how to communicate and negotiate, and that's part of life. So having skills like that, if you need to go get a new job and go on an interview, you're selling yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah. And your genius.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, in everything that we're doing, we're selling ourselves. Even
Yes.
like women, we're putting on makeup, we're looking pretty, we're walking in the street. Like it's everything that we do is about attracting people, and we are helping people in that way where we want people to come to us and we want to go to people. I mean, we're people. We're all so social. Human beings are social, and it's all about connecting with other people.
Right. There are, there's 6 human needs. I don't remember all of them, but one of the biggest ones is connection. Another one is certainty. And when you, I don't really like the word sales for this, but when you sell yourself, or when you allow yourself to recognize your own genius and what you're good at and what your strengths are, um, all of a sudden this energy comes alive in you. And I like to call that energy love. It's
Right.
love energy. When you love yourself enough to know that, wow, these are all the gifts that my soul gave me that I get to use to carry out my mission in the world, that you can't help but be uplifted by that.
100%. Like
Yeah.
self-love is everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really everything. It helps you with your health, your how you treat yourself, how you treat others. So if you fully love yourself and are standing in your power, it's hard to really do something mean to someone else because you know there's a certain level of empathy and compassion and kindness that comes with that. And I feel like there's not enough self-love in the world, like having that infinite love for yourself and what
Right.
that means to stand in a state of love,
Yeah.
being a being of love and actually wanting to do things to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the greatest fulfillment I get is I get to help women really see who they really are, the truth of themselves with a capital T. And usually we start with their language, right? Because that's where usually our internal language that isn't even being spoken outside of ourselves, all that internal chatter, that's where sometimes women are meaner to themselves than they would ever be to anyone else,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So when we shift that, wow, your whole life changes, your business flows, your relationships flow, your energy increases, your health increases. It's amazing. It's like
It's
this
amazing.
fabulous salve, if you will,
Yeah.
salve that you put on something, self-love.
And the best thing about it, it's free.
It's free.
It's free and it's available to you. You don't have to go anywhere. It's something that you can do at home, in the car, at work. It's like it's you. And you can
Yes.
and you can tap into you. It's like we are traveling in our bodies for however long we're gifted to be on the planet. And that is a time that we have for ourselves to really
Yes.
nourish our soul, love our soul, be in love with who we are.
Yes.
And it's a good opportunity for this because sometimes you think about this life, and at least I do. I'm like, oh, this planet, I'm ready, I'm out. Like I'm ready to be out. And then another part of me, then I come to this realization, I'm like, this is a gift. Even though the world is going crazy, this is a beautiful opportunity for souls like us that really want to help humanity because the humanity needs so much help right now
Yeah.
for us to rise up and be like, hey,
Yes.
the world might be
Yes.
going crazy, but there's a few people here that want to help.
Yes.
And the more people that love themselves and are in this energy of love, I really think we can really start to shift things.
Yes. Yeah, I have a funny story. Before we get out of bed, we send love to our day. So I send love to my body, I send love to all my organs, I send love to my day and anything that's going to happen in my day. Then I go around the perimeter of my house. I send love to my house. I send it from up above and down below. Then I send it to my neighbors. I send it out to the world. I send it to my finances, my bank accounts, my investment accounts. And
Nice.
all of that takes about 30 seconds. And it's just in my mind, right? I'm just sending love. And my investment account has increased. My house, the people in the neighbors have problems with ants and this and that. We don't have any ants. And it's like, it's like, oh, it's amazing. It works. And what you were saying is, this self-love, everyone is capable of it. Maybe they need some tips on how to do it more often or do it
Right.
better, or sometimes we have those blind spots so we don't see what we're doing. That's why they call them blind spots, because we can't see it.
Yeah.
But that's why we also need each other to reflect off of, hey, I noticed that you're doing this, and I've got a little tip that might help you.
Yeah, I mean that's why they hire coaches like us or people that can see things that they can't see, which, I've worked with people that have done that for me. It's really hard to shift your patterns if you don't have someone else to point them out to you. Like there's
Right.
been so many times that my mentor and my teachers have told me something that I was like, I had no idea I was doing.
Right.
Which and once I got that awareness, it totally shifted so much in my life. And
Yeah.
it's so important to have those reflections from a loving place where people are like, hey, I love you, but you're doing this.
Yes.
Know that you're doing this and it's counter to what you say you want to do in your life.
Exactly.
And it's so many times you don't even realize you're doing something that's completely not the same vibration of what you're trying to attain. And it's so important to have those tweaks so that you can start moving forward.
Yeah. Or maybe they know they're doing something, but if you've been doing something all your life in a certain way and everyone around you modeled that, you don't have a model for something different.
Right.
And so being able to give them, hey, I have a little idea that you might want to try, right?
Right.
I invite you to, what if you did this, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So let's get into the infinite love questions.
Okay.
So we were talking a little bit about this, but I'll just ask the question again, which is how do you personally use love in your work when you're working with clients?
Well, the S.A.L.E.S system that I teach is a love-based product process, right? But also I teach women how to step into their magnificent self. I use a lot of loving words. I point out the things that are incredible about them, and I repeat them every week when we meet, or every other week. And they tell me, it feels really hard to accept that, to hear that. And I said, that's okay. If you're willing is a great word. It's like a little door cracked open. You don't have to believe you're magnificent, but if you're willing to believe you're magnificent, it cracks the door open. And I just use loving language, loving energy. I am in love with my life. I love everything around. So I exude it, right? I painted my office purple the other day, because I love it. So I fill myself with joy and things that I love, and it exudes out. And so I intentionally use loving words, loving actions, loving ideas in my work. I feel that if I help someone, your mind is intelligent. Your heart is, I don't know what the exact number is, but your heart is 1,000,000 times more intelligent than your mind. And I show them how to follow their heart. Your ego is very restless and it's always anxiety, and your heart is very calm and peaceful. And when you follow your heart and listen to your heart, and you have that more peaceful, calming, all of a sudden you trust that everything's going to happen the way it needs to happen. You trust that your dreams will come true. And then once you have that, it's almost like willing is a first step, trust is the next step, and then you can believe. And then whatever you believe is what comes about. So I use a loving process to move them in that direction.
Love that. And what does it mean for you to be a positive force of goodness in the world?
It means everything to me. It means, number one, I'm on my soul's mission. I'm on purpose, and I get to be a model for everyone else. I am helping to raise the frequency on the planet, and I love women. I have a husband, and I love women because we are so amazing. And when more women recognize how beautiful and magnificent and genius and fabulous and creative, and when they recognize that that's who they are, that just brings a lot more goodness and positive energy into our world, and it shifts the planet, it shifts humanity.
I love that. It's
You
true.
can't help but be.
And also for me, I feel like women are the heart of the home.
Yes.
So if a woman is moving into a space of self-love, then it trickles to her partner, her children, her animals, her neighbors.
Yes.
It's just like we have this such a big capacity to love, and when a woman is in that space, she can really transform her community.
And remember, I said that capacity to love, we do it naturally.
Yeah.
That's sales, right? That's
Mhm.
another, word for sales is a funny word because it has a charge around it. But and I don't know the quote exactly, but when the woman of the house is happy, everybody else is happy, right?
What is it? Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
So, what do you love most about your life?
What do I love most about my life? Um, I love that I own my genius. I love that I'm super intuitive, and you get intuitive when you own your genius and love yourself. I love that I get to help other people transform into a greater version of themselves. Oh my God, I love that. That is just so exciting. And I love that I know that I am loved and supported. And I love and support other people. And there's this fabulous cycle going on, which gets you into the flow of all the energy of the universe and the love, the a lot of times they call it the quantum field or whatever
Right.
you want to call it, the fabric of the universe. It is love. And when you get into this cycle, you are like, it's just taking you in, and you're flowing with it. And so then all of a sudden everything about your life is fabulous. Yesterday I got to stop working in the middle of the day and go in the backyard with my two grandsons, and they jumped in the pool and it was freezing. It was, and we laughed. That was fun. I love that. I love that I can do that. Right. Yeah.
And how do you feel you receive love?
How do I receive love? First of all, be open to receiving love. Um, I receive love in a couple of ways. I have a practice, I have a self appreciation practice. And the self appreciation practice is we write, I'm part of a group on Facebook, a private group. So we write something that we appreciate about ourselves. So it's really easy for me to appreciate my hair because I don't have to do a lot with it. It just looks good. But I can appreciate the other day when I was frustrated and things were not going well, or something in the kitchen broke. So when I appreciate the things that we don't normally appreciate or what we might label as negative, I appreciate that I was like this frustrated, crabby person the other day. It opens up your ability to not only accept everyone else and their little quirks, but it makes you more compassionate. And when you're that way, you're like this open vessel to receive love. I think if I find pennies on the ground, I'm receiving love, and I pick them up and say thank you. I have this amazing husband that does all kinds of things for me, so I'm blessed in that way. I receive love by from myself by giving myself lots of water and drinking a green drink every day, and receiving the health and the ability of my cells to stay young. Just you know
I
I
love
don't have one specific answer.
No, no, it's good. I was just like taking it all in. I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. I like the appreciation because I feel like negative things happen and
Yeah.
it's so easy to go dark. But when you start to appreciate, it shifts the energy into a positive one. So even if like somebody's driving and they get a flat tire, it's like you for some people their whole day is ruined. They're just
Right.
annoyed and angry. But if you shift that mindset to appreciation and be like, oh, I appreciate that I have a spare tire and I have AAA, or somebody came to help me, or thank God my tire didn't blow out and I didn't have an accident. Like there's so
Right.
many ways to look at it and seeing, oh my God, this is such a moment of this is a good moment. Something happened, or
Yeah.
maybe life was saving me from something else. There's so many things that you could look at as a positive in those moments.
Yeah. I appreciate that I have a car and I don't have to hitchhike
Right.
everywhere.
Exactly, exactly. So I
Yeah.
think I think it's important for people to always reframe situations in
Yes.
appreciation, because puts you in the moment as well. Just in the moment. This is what's happening. I'm surrendered to the moment. Thank you for whatever's happening. I'll survive, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a saying in our house. I'm the one that's animated and emotional, and so I'll do something and then I'll be crabby and I'll go, oh my God, I appreciate that I'm human. I am human and I am crabby. I have all the emotions. It's not just these ones over here on this end of the spectrum of joy and love. No, I got these ones over here: anger, rage, crabbiness, right? So I'm being all of myself. And when you're being and allowing all the emotions, you're also allowing everything else that's fabulous to come into your life, because you're not only saying, oh, I'll only have half of this stuff over here. You're cutting off the other half.
Yeah,
Right.
the totality.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when do you feel the most love?
I probably feel the most love when one of my ladies has a huge breakthrough and they actually see themselves, see the magnificence and the love and the genius of themselves. I also feel a lot of love when I'm doing self-appreciation. I'm feeling the love from myself, which allows me to feel the love from all the people around me. If you're not allowing yourself to feel the love from yourself, there's other love coming at you, but you don't realize it. But there's a screen door or a wall or and when I care for myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
And my last question is, where has love created a miracle in your life?
Where's love created a miracle in my life? Well, the miracle of having $500,000 disappear and then, writing out how angry I was and all these horrible things that I wanted to do to this man, and then getting to a place where I actually could forgive him. And then all of a sudden asking the universe, can you please just send me my money back? And then actually having something happen in my life where almost the exact amount came back. That was pretty miraculous. Also, I did a treasure map, a vision board one time, and it had a gorgeous house on it and had these columns and this and that. And then my husband and I bought a house. And when I walked in, it wasn't until a little while later, I pulled out the vision board and I went, oh my God, look at this. And it like really matched up. So I have a lot of miracles in my life. Yeah. My husband's a walking miracle.
Yes, he is. I can't wait to speak with him later.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your energy and your story. And how can people find you if they want to learn more about the work that you do?
They can go to Victoria Buckmann, Buckmann, 2 N's.com. And if they would like to have a conversation and have some recommendations on how they can step into their magnificent self, or serve more clients, have more income, I also have a link called S.A.L.E.S magicmastermind.com, and that'll connect me with them, and we'll set up a call and I'll give them lots of fun recommendations.
Nice. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you. This was lovely.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe and tune in on Tuesdays for new episodes. For more information about me, please follow me on Instagram at Corinne J. Camara and my website, CorinneCamara.com. Sending you lots of infinite love.